Hello everyone, my name is Silvia Furnos. I'm a PhD candidate in the Center for Computer Games Research at IT University of Copenhagen. This is a video to present in the International Conference on Game Jams, during which I will introduce the concept of CHEM, a game jam for chemical engineering students, and discuss about the challenges to organize such an event for educational purposes. We are living in a dynamic and fast-changing society that demands highly versatile leaders able to lead, to guide the positive effects of these changes. And in order to train this kind of professionals, we need flexible learning methodologies that allow for hands-on sessions where learners have the freedom to think, try, and explore by themselves. This way, the learning experience can be customized according to the learner's needs and therefore translate into better learning outcomes. Just as it would happen with a typical constructivist learning approach. Think about how kids learn when they are playing with Lego kits. They are given a set of tools to use as they wish in order to create. The question is, why not applying this methodology to improve engineering education and train versatile engineers that can meet the demands of new challenges? And this is the goal of the Game Jam, a game jam for chemical engineering students. That said, making digital games require some technical skills like programming or game design that chemical engineering students usually do not possess. That's why I'm working on a custom-made game editor to create levels of a platform game without needing programming language. In addition to that, a game design workshop, about which I will talk later, will be included in the Game Jam event. The custom-made editor is inspired by 2D side-scrolling platform game editors, where players can create levels of a platform game. This is an example of a mobile application called Felgo Level Editor, through which players can create, play, and share platform game levels. This kind of game level editors usually present a tile map screen and drag and drop blocks that users can move and use on the screen for their creations. In this editor, there are only two kinds of enemies that behave differently. We have the static green block, and we have the mouse, okay? And then we also have, this is the main character that is moved and controlled by the player. And then we have other items or the blocks that can be used, like the coins and power-ups like the mushroom, and also kind of terrain items that can be used to create the floors. I started the development of the editor, which will be a mobile app similar to Felgo Level Editor, with the game engine Game Maker Studio 2. The main reasons to choose this game engine were the intuitive interface and simple features. This was important for me because my intention was that participants could access the game engine and use it to build game items with the built-in sprite editors that we can see in the picture. However, I have recently changed to Unity, which would be a more complex game engine than Game Maker Studio 2, and have decided to make the game item creation accessible from the app's user interface. This way, players will use the mobile phone camera, scan hand-drawn sketches, and get new 2D images to use as game items after choosing scale, collision, and behavior. There is the possibility to connect my game editor with an AR chemistry lab app that one of my colleagues in Charming, the network to which my PhD belongs, is developing. The idea is that the students use the virtual lab to create a solution that they can send to the game editor in form of a game item. So for example, they would create ethanol, send it to the game editor, and use it in the chemical process that they want to represent, like ethanol fermentation. Roughly from 20 to 30 students organized in teams of 4 will be asked to create levels of a platform game representing chemical process during the CHEM event. Here we can see some examples of chemical processes and process equipment that could be object of representation in a platform game level. The first picture is representing a fermentation process focused on the equipment from the outside without details about what's happening inside. In the second picture, we can see that there are several processes involved, like milling, fermentation, distillation, rectification, etc. And it's also showing how the substances are behaving inside. Taking that into account, here we have an improvised representation of a distillation process in Super Mario Maker 2, which is another platform game editor. Mario must keep clear of the stalactite-shaped items because it's deadly and falls to the floor after a lapse of time. Mario needs to jump on the top of the column with the help of the jump booster in the vapor right in the right moment to avoid collision with the stalactite item and to get the booster. As far as the learning content is concerned, game items on the top, which stand in for the column schooler, fire items and lava floors would be the heater, and the 2 drops that evaporate simulate what's happening inside the column. The Game Jam will kick off with a game design workshop based on the structured design of platform games following action, resting, and exploration points, where rhythm is key. As we have seen with Mario, when he had to jump right on the right moment to get the booster and to avoid the collision. After that, participants will start an abstraction process to represent the chemical process on paper and with the editor afterwards. Once the levels are created in the editor, the explanatory phase will begin, during which creators explain the levels they have made to other peers. In the end, participants will play all the levels created during the event, which means that they will go through an interpretation phase of the learning content while playing. Finally, I'm currently working on the methodology that I will use to measure the learning outcomes of the event, which will comprise individual questionnaires, video recording, and game levels. So this is everything. Don't hesitate to read this conference report or contact me if you want to know more about this study. Thanks for watching.